Maiden goal in the competition and won't come much closer than that. Yakalish, it's just a little too strong for Galloway. Playing in that slightly more advanced position these days, Taras Gamulka. He and Jay O'Shea tend to rotate a bit, defensive duties. Aldred. Good first touch by Lofthouse. O'Shea just can't reach it. It's a good sliding challenge that by Hamza Saki. Yakalish. And Supriya. Moved out wide by Curtis Good, who suffered a knock during the Melbourne derby. We wonder whether he might come out for the second half. We saw Nuno Reis warming up during the break in that game against Victory. He's okay to go from the off today. Offside against Leo Natel.
That's a coach killer, isn't it? See across the line, you need to hold your run. See there, just takes off, it's tight, but looks like he's just gone a fraction too early. That's it, as his Bates look desperate to get forward. Always good to see him marauding forward, looking to get in the play.
Aziz Bayed should be more frustrated than anyone because he made a 30-40 yard run. Jack Hingert. There's no foul there, even though Brisbane appealed. And Tolga Arslan is away here. Still with the German, and Leo Natel could save with the feet by Matt Acton to deny City the opening goal. Brisbane felt there might have been a foul on Hingert's before it got that far.
Well, this is the tail end of it. Tolga Arslan just holding the ball up. Obviously got the call from the outside, and Leo Natel probably had the best chances for City last week. Probably should have done better there. Could only find the feet. Matt Acton, he should have tucked that into the far corner.
Saki with the corner and headed in. Clean as a whistle. Curtis Goods rising high above the defenders. A very simple set-piece goal and City lead in the 10th minute.
Well, easy as you like, Melbourne City. Curtis Good just made the run. It's a decent ball in on the Harvey Norman replay. You see there, he just makes the run to the near post area. Comes in, gets up above Mile Uznic. It's too easy. Thomas Aldred is the first to make the inquiries as to what's happening defensively. It's just good, strong, powerful header. That's easy as you like.
That's his first goal of the season. Last daily goal came against Sydney in the semi-finals last year. They are just checking as to whether the goal was legal. Don't think this is going to be ruled out, but you never know. On we go. Brisbane have made a nice positive start up until that point. Let's see if they can hit back. Mile Uznic with the early cross, and Supriya sees it safely away.
He wasn't happy with himself, Supriya. He wanted to clear that anywhere but the corner. Gives Brisbane the opportunity for an immediate response.
Alex Parsons to deliver. Tom Aldred looking to make his run in towards the near post, and Supriyan's there again. A few conversations going on in there. Alex King keeping his good humour, for now anyway. Parsons again, a bit more elevation this time, and an easy take for Jamie Young, playing against his former club, where he spent so many years, of course. City haven't lost so far this season when scoring the first goal. 3 wins and 2 draws from the 5 previous occasions. It's just beyond Gamulka, and the scraps picked up by Saki. It was the right idea, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was great pressure from Melbourne City, high up the field. We've been very accustomed to from them for the past few seasons. And if that hits the foot of Jamie McLaren, it's trouble for Brisbane Roar.
Too high for Jez Loftus. Early possession stats relatively even. Brisbane ruining that width of the post, which denied Gamulka the opening goal, and their sloppy marking from the set piece, which allowed Curtis Good to open the scoring for City. Bajic trying to bend it around, and it's not a bad attempt, you know. Jamie McLaren's in. Side netting. He ghosted in behind Kai Truin.
Some ball, wasn't it, from Aziz Bajic? A bit of bend, perfect weight. For a fraction of a second, you thought Jamie McLaren wasn't going to get there, but used his body well.
Gamulka. Completely away by Goods. More Bajic. Should be now off the head of Natal, and City looking to spring forwards in transition. Tolgay Arslan leading the charge. Options left and right. Yakulish, tap in, 2-0. Classic Jamie McLaren. Goal number 149 in the A-League, and his little 3-game scoring drought is over, and City are 2 clear. 2 goals in 5 minutes.
Well, that's classic Jamie McLaren, as you've said. Wonderful movement from himself in the lead-up play as well. Just watch him here as the ball comes on the Harvey Norman replay. Look at his movement here. He moves away from Aldrin and he's back. Then he comes inside, opens up the space for Yakulish, and it's a simple first-time ball across. And that movement has created the space for his teammates and then himself for a nice little tap in. 2-0 Melbourne City and 149 for Jamie McLaren in the A-League. He hadn't scored for 3 previously, but he's back doing what he does best.
Well, he was denied by VAR on Saturday, but not tonight. And he's now just 1 away from becoming the first player to hit 150 in the A-League men's competition. And Brisbane were just too slow to react to the danger.
Yeah. Every time Melbourne City win the ball, they look like they're going to be dangerous.
We posed the question, Macca, as to how Brisbane would react to the departure of Ross Aloisi. The scoreboard is telling us not particularly well. And yet those first 5 minutes or so were pretty good.
Yeah, I was about to say, on the ball they looked quite good going forward, moving it around, but it's been 2 or 3 occasions where they look like they've been carved, well, they have been carved up quite easily.
And even at this early stage now, perhaps staring down the barrel of 3 consecutive losses, all on the back of that good start to the season, and of course reaching the final of the Australia Cup. By the way, if they don't win today, Brisbane Roar, after 10 games, they will have fewer points than they did this time last season. Which sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? Because generally we feel that they're a better team this season.
Well, they've definitely been a lot more free-flowing. It's actually quite an astonishing stat when you talk about all the talk about the way they've played, how they've changed and transformed. I guess the argument could also be that a long-term plan of play this more expansive, attacking and aggressive football in the long term, it's going to pay more dividends.
And to be fair, probably their start last season was built on the back of a very strong defence, and they're a little bit more open because they're more expansive.
Yeah, and it takes time as well.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Saki's done well here. Low cross steered away by Kai Truin. Recycle through Bajic. Arslan. Turned back by Lopane. Bajic. Pinpoint pass to pick out the fullback. He has Leo Natel alongside. Tolgay Arslan. Galloway back for Supriyan. Saki available. Bajic. City look in total control at the moment. 2 goals in 5 minutes will do that. Spins out off the boot of Louis Zabala. Also, in fairness to Brisbane, they've got a few injuries they're contending with at the moment. Well, you can say the same about City with Lecky and the boots. Laurent Berenguer just back on the bench today after a fairly lengthy absence. No Henry Hoare, Corey Brown, Scott Neville, Anthony Burke-Gilroy. It's a fair-sized list.
Yeah, young Thomas Waddingham as well.
Yep. Throw in for City. Galloway looking for movement. Gets it off Lopane. Drop of the shoulder. And Galloway earns a corner for Melbourne City. Only previous start this season was against Macarthur in round 4, Scott Galloway. Arslan on corner kick duty. See if Brisbane have learned their lesson from the set pieces. Good in there again, and Curtis Goods again managed to find the room to get a clean header. Couldn't keep it down this time.
Well, he's just out-muscling his opponent, isn't he?
Inget. Curtis Good has a bit of time. Jamie Young only picks out Zabala. Lofthouse. Zabala had continued his run. Get that ball roll over the line. It did. Goal kick. Let's go down to Michael Zapponi's pitch side for us. Evening, Zappa.
Good evening, Simon. Yeah, Luciano Trani's been up on his toes for most of this first half, just taking a seat now, but his message to them has been now, here he's up again now, up and about, but has been to try and keep the momentum, try and keep things positive, try and keep the ball moving quickly, but they do look shell-shocked after conceding that second goal. Could have been very different. The Brisbane bench weren't too happy with that first goal. They thought Curtis Good may have initiated a foul in winning that headed contest, but we'll take a look at that at half-time. But at the moment, it's all Melbourne City, and a big night too for Aziz Bayic. It's his last game for the Socceroo before he heads over to Qatar for the Asian Cup.
Thanks very much, Sampa. I guess Brisbane's point, Macca, is if that's an attacker on the goalkeeper, it's pinged as a foul, isn't it?
Well, all touches on a goalkeeper are a foul, aren't they?
Oh, I know.
Look, I can see. Look, you see here, he's got the arms on, but I think, look, he gets up early. It's a contact sport. I can see where Brisbane may be coming from, but look, if you're going to call back all of them, you're never going to see any goals.
Miluznic. Well, he was looking for the foul there, wasn't he? Nikola Miluznic never looked likely to get it. Readjustments from Luciano Trani. Raw absolutely had their pants pulled down by the Central Coast Mariners on their own deck last week. They've got a mountain to climb already here. There's Marin Jakalic. Steps inside Zabala. The deflection will favour McLaren. Oh, the man out wide was Leo Natel, who I'm sure they were searching for. Instead, it's Brisbane who spring forward. Jay O'Shea on the ball. Looking to go early. And it was Jakalic who tracked all the way back. Not shirking his defensive duties. O'Shea. O'Shea favoured Miluznic. O'Shea again. Just gave himself a bit too much to do there. Jay O'Shea, and Aziz Bayic steams forward down the left. It's a great run by the fullback, Tolgay Arslan. Looking for McLaren, but it was just too crowded, that penalty box.
Well, he thought about the pass earlier, didn't he? Caught in two minds, pass, shoot. It's gone.
City in a groove here, though. Leo Natel, placed by Hingets. He created the angle very easily for himself, but not able to find the finish. Still looking for his first goal in City blue.
Well, he has found himself in some good positions, hasn't he? Yeah, Natel. Of course, the last couple of matches, but just can't quite find that finishing product.
Raw yet to register a shot on target. Tarash Kamulka came mighty close. Supriyan. Good. It's all very tight in there for Tolgay Arslan. Coletti. Ingots. Truin. Walker almost caught on the blind side, but managed to release the ball early enough. Zabala. Raw building nicely here. Hingets. And they find an end product. Square by Coletti for Aldred. Zabala. Walker pokes it wide for Lofthouse. Turned back by Coletti. Sustained period of possession for the visitors. O'Shea is finding that little pocket of space. Again, it was the right idea, but Supriyan showing good anticipation.
Yeah, he read it well, didn't he? Moved the ball around quite well there, Brisbane Raw.
yards. City looking to press. Truin has no route back to his goalkeeper. And it's a great release by Kai Truin. Well, almost a great release. Milosnic going a fraction too early.
Well, I still think it was a great release. It's just whether he'd straight offside or not. He doesn't believe so.
Well, the XG telling its own story, I guess. It's not the best clearance, that, by Jamie Young. Well, the spin on it just held Milosnic up for a moment. And Saki was able to nip in. City recover.
But that was sloppy, wasn't it? That was a real opportunity there. We saw earlier Melbourne City when they won the ball, they played the ball forward straight away and almost put Jamie McLaren in. The same needed to be done there. There were two black shirts forward. Milosnic.
He's been a good contributor for Brisbane so far this season. Nikola Milosnic, joint second top scorer along with Henry Hall, 3 goals, and you can add 3 assists to that as well. I guess in the continuing absence of Henry Hall and Tommy Waddingham tonight, a lot resting on his shoulders goals-wise for Brisbane.
I think the style of play obviously suits him. He's looked a little bit reborn this year. Very quick, likes to get forward. Runs in behind.
Tolga Arslan, brilliantly done. What a ball for Marin Jakolic. City lining up in the middle and Tom Aldridge forced to put it behind for a City corner. What a player Tolga Arslan is.
He was under heavy pressure there, wasn't he? To use his strength, his body, his guile. Wonderful releasing pass. And Jakolic gets the head up. Yeah, Natel was doing his best to come from the opposite wing to get there, but he's quick, but he's not that quick.
I don't think it's stretching things too far to say he could be another Ninkovic in this league. I reckon he's that good. He's about to take this corner. Near post is Jakolic. Easy take for Matt Acton. He just had a little look over the shoulder to make sure he knew exactly where Jamie McLaren was. Run forward by Truin, through the gap nicely too for Jay O'Shea. Calling for it early, Brisbane. This is Lofthouse. And on the overlap here, Louis Zabala, and it takes a deflection. And Brisbane have themselves a corner off Scott Galloway.
That was lovely ball movement from Brisbane Raw. Jay O'Shea always finds those pockets of space, doesn't he? So has the vision as well to get his head up and look for his teammates moving forward.
Switch on is the message from Jamie Young. Jay O'Shea very carefully placing the ball. Oh, watch out for the microphone, Jay. That wasn't in the script. Now they make their move, and Jamie Young gets a good solid fist on the ball. Back in by Coletti. Helped out by McLaren. Reset through Parsons. O'Shea still plenty forward for the Raw in this attack, including Tom Aldridge. Who's in nosebleed territory, really. Him and Cyprian having a real, rather Leo Natel having a real go at each other. Aldridge was holding his man at bay, and Leo Natel was slapping that fist away.
He had a big handful of Leo Natel's shirt, didn't he? He took umbrage at that.
Don't hold my shirt, Tom.
A few words.
Another set piece for the Raw. Good long think about this. Shea delivers now towards the near post. As is Bajic with the intervention.
Between Bajic and Superan, they've won everything at the near post, haven't they?
See if Alex Parsons gives it a little more elevation. There goes towards the back post, and wasn't a bad header by Tarash Gamulka. Straight at Jamie Young, but he stolen around the back. Good tactic.
Well, they tried that one earlier as well. There was a little bit too much air on it for Jamie Young to just come and collect. A bit better delivery on that one.
And it goes off Sabala. 2-0 a comfortable lead for City at the moment, but as we've seen in our home games at Amy Park, not always a winning advantage. There's Bajic again with that ball in behind. It's 3. It is goal number 150 in the A-League for Jamie McLaren. But Aziz Bajic deserves a lot of the credit again. That was a razor-sharp ball in behind. And McLaren steered it through the legs of Matt Acton. And it's 3 for City.
Well, they gave a little warning earlier, didn't they? Almost a carbon copy. Look at this on the Harvey Norman replay. Look at that. He gets up, sees the run. The weight of pass, the timing of the run. Jamie McLaren does Jamie McLaren things. 150, uses his body well and tucks it through the legs of Matt Acton. And runs off to celebrate with the crowd. Just another day in the office, but what about the pass from Aziz Bajic? Absolute perfection.
Well, it's a move that will have Graham Arnold both licking his lips and perhaps also a little bit of frustration that he didn't pick Jamie McLaren, but what a ball from Aziz Bajic, who is going to the Asian Cup. And congratulations to Jamie McLaren. He keeps racking up the milestones, doesn't he?
Yeah. He does. We said it at the start.
Next stop, Damien Murray, 240. It's a long way off.
Ooh, that's a long way. But we did say at the start, you give him service, he'll score goals. We've seen it time and time again. He had a lean few weeks. And of course, when Jamie McLaren doesn't score for 3 matches, we feel like the world's falling apart. We see it so often.
Where to from here for Brisbane Roar? It's not that they've played particularly badly, but they've just been opened up too easily.
Yeah. Some very sloppy defending for the goals.
Strong but fair challenge by Galloway. It's going to be a corner. Shea playing it off the shins of Scott Galloway. Jay O'Shea's delivery and flicked onto the crossbar. Goodness me, that's twice they've hit the frame of the goal, Brisbane. A little stumble by Bajic, could open the door again. Bajic has stayed down. Miliusnic's ball in, and I don't believe it, they've hit the post again. Is the ball still alive? I think it's gone behind. And Jez Lofthouse is the latest to be frustrated. Yet the ball did go out. But twice in the same move, they hit the crossbar and then the post. And that injury to Aziz Bajic will be of concern. It came off The City defender, in fact.
I think it was Supreme got the last touch there. As it comes in again, they must be thinking in black shirts, what do we need to do? They've hit both posts and the crossbar now. They still find themselves goalless. And this doesn't look good. This Beach is still struggling.
Well, let's hope that's just a minor issue for Aziz Beich, for the national team as much as for Melbourne City. And that Melbourne City goal has led a charmed life at times. Deep delivery, Yakalish underneath it. Headed further clear by Lapane, back in by Coletti. And it drops here for Kai Truin, who has a speculative effort. He's still awaiting his first A-League goal. And Brisbane was so close. Just a stamp by
I think it was
the
left arm hitting in the nether regions.
Oh. Well, that does hurt.
Which may have taken his breath away.
He'll be shouting with a slightly higher voice for the next couple of minutes. Nicely through the press, Melbourne City. Beich is okay. Off again down the left. Decent ball in again. Swept over the top by McLaren this time.
Well, as he fired that one in, there was 3 Melbourne City players in a line. They all stuck a leg out. Tolgay Arslan turned around and said, "Was that for me?"
That second goal for Jamie McLaren is 99th in the A-League for Melbourne City. Might be a chance on here for Jack Hingert. Couldn't make anything of it. Reset through Coletti. Clever from Milosnic. Too heavy off O'Shea. Well, this first half-time team talk is going to be an interesting one. In charge of the Raw. Might be checking the dimensions of that frame of the goal away to the right as well. So it's not been Brisbane Raw's friend in this first half. Here's Lofthouse. Ball was behind O'Shea. Tolgay Arslan picks it up. Yakalish, clever. Arslan going early. McLaren waiting in the middle to no avail. And again, Melbourne City swept forward so quickly when Brisbane were so casual in possession.
Yeah. That man, Arslan, and Yakalish combining well.
Now, Nikola Milosnic almost dropped for him. Beich thought there was a push in there as well. Just bounced straight into the arms of Jamie Young. Middle of the ball incident involving Hingert and Leon Natel. Minutes to go before the half-time break. It's an opening period that is exactly according to plan for Aurelio Vidmar. For Luch Trani, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. There's Tolgay Arslan again finding space between the lines. Lapane didn't look. Lofthouse was there. Forward by Aldred. Might have been a foul in there, but good advantage played by Alex King. Zabala makes progress. O'Shea in the more central position. Wide right is Miliusnic. Hingert pushing on. This is a good ball. Miliusnic. Whether Alex King just went back and had a word with Melbourne City player there. He dived in on Tom Aldridge.
He was sucking up the big ones a minute ago, Alex King.
Jamie Young to come out together just in the nick of time. Lopane. By Yakalish for Galloway. Galloway's continued the run and it's found nicely by Yakalish, and look at them queuing up in the middle here. McLaren and Jack Hingert possibly with a goal-saving intervention, because they had two further players to McLaren's left.
Yeah, and I think Jamie McLaren knew that too. It's just his touch let him down. His thought was just to try and first touch and then move the ball on again. There was no real tracking of the runner, was there, down that right-hand side?
Well, again, just to make the point, Macca, in general play, it's probably been relatively even, but in transition, Brisbane have been all over the place.
Yeah.
Defensive transition, that is.
That's right, and Melbourne City been good in that midfield transition. Broken lines. With Brisbane committing plays forwards, there's been so much space for them to move the ball quickly, getting into those wide areas with plenty of willing runners to go forward as well.
Well, already Vidmar will know that they've already played out a couple of 3-all draws this season. Melbourne City. Points not yet won. It's been a pretty good first half for them. Here's O'Shea, again finding that little pocket. Zabala's cross, Subrian just rather nonchalantly dangling out that left leg. O'Shea. Zabala, is he onside? City appealing, successfully as it turns out.
Well, we've seen both the Brisbane Roar fullbacks get forward and invert, become like midfielders as well, but Melbourne City, as we see, 3 minutes at the time. Melbourne City have coped quite well. Kept their shape and their structures pretty good.
How does he rouse his players at the break?
That's a tough one, isn't it? Never good coming in 3-0 down at half-time. First game in charge.
It's a foul by Hamza Saki.
I guess
Late on Kamulka. Sorry, Macca.
No, I guess the first thing is you want to say, well, let's forget the first half, score-wise.
Miliusnic, decent ball in, but beyond Parsons. Lofthouse. Sort of playing without a number 9, aren't they, Brisbane? Here's Jay O'Shea. Miliusnic drifting into wide areas, and Alex Parsons at time going central. And here's that counter again from City. 2 defenders in shot, 3 now. Leo Natel, chance for Aziz Bayic, surely no! Matt Acton denies City a 4th in first half stoppage time.
Well, that's exactly what he'll want fixing up. Forget about the score. Let's tidy up those transition moments. They're committing lots of bodies forward, but Melbourne City are doing this very, very well. as is Beach. Got the engines to get forward there to try and get himself a goal. They're just winning that midfield battle when they win the ball. Brisbane aren't getting back quick enough. There's too much space for Melbourne City to move the ball quickly.
Well, I fancy that's as much for Backchat.
Well, it was he just stepped across as they tried to take a quick one and block the ball. And you saw Alex King say, well, what can I do? Just stepped across. It's a silly yellow card, really.
His third caution of the season, and Sasaki. Lofthouse kept the ball in play. Wasn't the greatest free kick, was it? Still there for the Raw. Parsons trying to find an angle to shoot, perhaps. He does so. Not a bad try, Alex Parsons.
He moved across the box, just looking for the space. He finally found it. And Jamie Young can only stand and watch and hope that it goes across.
Well, the modern game is about transition, and Melbourne City have done it brilliantly in the first half. Jamie McLaren bagging a double, the second, his 150th in the A-League. The first player to reach that mark. Curtis Good with the opener on 10 minutes. At the other end, Brisbane are cursing the frame of the goal. They've hit the right post, the left post, and the crossbar. But so far, they've drawn a blank. All to do for Luciano Trani on his coaching debut at Brisbane at the break at Amy Park. Melbourne City 3, Brisbane Raw 0. And we're off to a break on the other side of it. The Hungry Jacks half-time show. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Amy Park in Melbourne, where Melbourne City lead Brisbane Roar by 3-0. It's been a clinical display from the home side, looking for their first win in 3 outings, and they've been very comprehensive. Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show. It's smiling faces here for the Melbourne City fans as their team looks like they'll break that little drought that they've had over the last couple of weeks. 3-0 at halftime. Excellent performance. Jamie McLaren answering his critics with a couple of goals as well. It's been 3 without for him, as is Bajic in fine form. Plenty of highlights, Simon and Macca, in that first 45.
Absolutely, Zappa. Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman highlights. The 3 goals, and really, Danny McBreen, they've all been too easy for Melbourne City.
Yeah, they have. If you look there, look at all the black shirts everywhere. Curtis Good just drifts in, gets up above Millet, isn't it? It's a simple header to open the scoring after it was a bright start from Brisbane Roar, and that just undid it all in one swift movement. And
no suggestion of a foul for you?
Not for me, no. I don't think so at all. But this is where Melbourne City have been really fantastic today. In that transition moment, this man in particular, Tolgay Arslan, has combined well with Yakalish. Look at the runs forward, and that's a perfect ball, and that's Jamie McLaren's bread and butter, isn't it? But the movement from Jamie McLaren was brilliant as well. He took Aldred one way, then went in his back the other way, which opened the space for Yakalish, who then had an easy ball to play it across to the back post where Jamie McLaren could slide in and slot it away. Textbook Melbourne City.
Talking of textbook, what about this for a ball from Aziz Bajic? Slide rule pass, inch perfect.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. He gave a little warning earlier where they almost carbon copy and they got away with it on that occasion, but look at that. The weight of the pass, Jamie McLaren just gets his body across the defender and slots it through the legs, but he's been on fire tonight for me, Aziz Bajic. He's been great getting forward. Lovely release there. Jamie McLaren comes up and says, thank you, look at that.
Music to Graham Arnold's ears, even though he suffered a bit of an injury scare late on. He looks as though he's okay. And these are the half-time stats. Brisbane just with the 1 shot on target, but of course they have hit the frame of the goal on 3 separate occasions. They've been good in general play, but it's in those transitional moments, as Mac has said, that Melbourne City have been absolutely clinical. These are the scenes at half-time in the Melbourne City dressing room. All is calm there. I imagine it might be a little more frantic in the Brisbane Roar changing rooms. Let's have a look at those first half chances for Brisbane Roar, Macca. And, you know, their general build-up play was quite tidy, and only the luck of the draw, I guess, on 3 separate occasions prevented them from getting on the score sheet at least.
Yeah, well, this was a wonderful strike early on from Taras Gumulka. And we saw in the stats, Brisbane Roar have had more passes in the opposition half. They've had more final third entries, but they just probably haven't had, 1, the luck, and 2, the clinical finishing that Melbourne City have had. On another night, they could have a goal or 2 of their own.
Little slip there by Aziz Bajic. Nikola Miljusnic with a terrific ball in, and Jez Lofthouse so unlucky to see his shot go off the inside of the post and roll along the face of the goal. But that's the way it is for Brisbane at the moment. Let's go down to Zappa again.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Some team news for Melbourne City. I've just noticed that Steve Ugarkovic and Callum Talbot have come out early, so we might see them, if not at half-time, soon after that. Perhaps some changes from Aurelio Vidmar. Of course, their last game was on Saturday night, the Melbourne Derby, so short turnaround and some fresh legs perhaps, given that very comfortable 3-0 advantage they have at halftime. It is a very deep squad they've got at Melbourne City. Jamie McLaren, we touched on him earlier. He's been outstanding in that first half as well for Melbourne City, scoring his 2 goals in the first half to bring up the 150 in his A-League career. It's an outstanding record. He's reached it in record time and is now considered one of the best strikers we've seen, not only in the A-League, but in the NSL era as well. He's taken his chances brilliantly tonight. He had a slow start to the season, of course. He was carrying an injury. He was playing the last few weeks with injections and wasn't moving freely at all, but he looks a lot better tonight, and let's hope he's over that injury. Of course, he missed out on the Asian Cup squad, but Graham Arnold has said he's very much firmly in his plans as they head towards qualification for the next World Cup in a couple of years' time. And I'm sure Jamie McLaren, Simon, is featuring very highly in our Paramount Player Index tonight.
You may well be right, Zappa. There we go. Number one, Jamie McLaren, his 2 goals, putting him ahead of Tolgay Arslan, who again has been very tidy in midfield. And Aziz Behic rounding out the top 3 in our Paramount Plus Player Index. Now, don't forget, we got a big occasion, not just the Asian Cup in January, but also the inaugural Unite round, which takes place over 3 days in January in Sydney, 12th to the 14th. All of the A-League's men's and women's teams in action over that 3-day period. Should be a great festival of football, and tickets for families available from $36. Macca, before we head off to the final break, before the second half, what does Luciani do at half-time? How do they turn it around?
Well, they need to shore up that midfield for transition. I wouldn't be surprised to see Florent Berenguer introduced to try and create some inroads, and which allow Taras Gamulka to sit a little bit with Joe Coletti and just shore up that midfield when they throw the rest of their players forward and break down any Melbourne City attacks.
Well, that was the Hungry Jacks half-time show. The second half on the other side of the break. As we go to the break, don't forget we've got the Asian Cup coming up over the next few weeks in Qatar as the Socceroos go for glory. Back soon.
From the towering Harry Suter. Miller is there with Metcalf. He dinks the ball back in. Great header. Mitch Duke. What a story. 11 goals now in green and gold.
Well, Jamie McLaren doing what Jamie McLaren normally does at Amy Park tonight. 2 goals, classic, trademark McLaren goals. Wonderful release from Aziz Bajic for the second against the club with whom he played 53 games and scored 40 goals and won 2 golden boots. Don't rule him out of the golden boot this year, even though he's a fair way behind Bruno Forderoli at the moment. He now has 6 for the season, and if he manages to add a third in the second half, it will be his 100th in Melbourne City colours. No changes made by either coach at the break, but Brisbane Roar with an awful lot of work to do if they are to turn this one around. Grey clouds overhead. Storm clouds perhaps starting to gather above Brisbane heads. This would be a 3rd consecutive defeat in the week that Ross Aloisi quit the club to join Kevin Muscat in China with Shanghai Port. And they're already defending a Melbourne City attack. It's Jamie McLaren. And it was Kai Truin who made the block to put the ball behind, but that's been their problem the whole night, Daniel McBring.
Well, it's another slide ball rule down the side, isn't it? Slide rule ball. That's opened up the Brisbane defence. It's been too easy. Not enough pressure on the ball carrier. Positioning hasn't been great in the back line. And they were almost in again.
Hamza Saki with the corner. Good towards the near post, and the ball bounces through everybody. Retrieved by Tolgay Arslan. Further back by Galloway for Bajic. And all the way back for Jamie Young. Are you surprised that Luciano Trani hasn't made a change off the bench? Although, in fairness, we were looking at the bench and thinking, well, there's a lot of younger players there, maybe Armiento and Berenguer the exception. Yes,
to be honest, I think Berenguer's, maybe he's not ready to do a full 45 minutes.
Miliusnic, little cut back, but Supriyan is there.
Yeah, I thought the introduction of Florent Berenguer just allow Gamulka just sit a little deeper and offer that protection with Coletti.
Here comes City again. Tolgay Arslan. To his left is Leo Natel. This way and that. No way through this time. Good turn by Lofthouse to get Raw out of bother, for the moment at least. Reminder of the teams at start of play. A couple of changes for City. Scott Galloway coming in, and also Alessandro Lopane. Callum Talbot and Stephen Ugarkovic left on the bench by Aurelio Vidmar. And 3 changes for Brisbane. Tommy Waddingham injured. He was the headline news. So Raw sort of playing without a recognised number 9. This is Jakalic trying to steer it in behind. It's a lovely ball. Just sending Tolgay Arslan a fraction wider than he wanted to go, perhaps. The back heel for Leo Natel. Make that 4. A maiden goal in the A-League for the Brazilian. It's a cracking strike. And surely Brisbane are buried once again at Amy Park.
Well, we said he's been getting himself into some good positions. He's finally found a wonderful finish. The Harvey Norman replay, it was almost a wonderful ball from Marin Jakalic. Just took a little wide. This is too easy. Look, just shifts it inside. The crowd was baying for the shot, and it's wonderfully tucked away. That actor just looks at his defenders and says, that's too easy. Way too easy. Just shifts it on the inside and allowed to bend it into that far corner. And it just goes from bad to worse for Brisbane Roar.
Joy for Leo Natel. But Raw too slow, too passive Brazilian did not need a second invitation on that season-long loan from Corinthians. Former junior at Benfica, replacing Andrew Naboot, who's back doing a bit of training with Melbourne City. Not quite ready to return just yet. Raw really have been abject defensively tonight.
Yeah, it's been a terrible performance. They were very flat last week. Conceded 3 there. And at the moment, I feel like Melbourne City could go and turn this into an embarrassing scoreline.
Curtis Goods, who got the ball rolling. Melbourne City after 10 minutes. Arslan, great balance. Leo Natel. Throw in City. Luke Strani wants the job full time. It's the best possible start for him. Galloway. By the way, Brisbane have now conceded in the A-League 9 goals consecutively without response. You might remember they lost at Amy Park a couple of weeks back to Western United after leading thanks to 2 late goals, Daniel Pena and Josh Risdon. Then 3-0 loses at home to the Mariners, and now 4-0 down here. It's not an encouraging statistic.
Nearly 2 goals a game on average for the season. A team that gave away nothing in the past.
And yet, Macca, there has been promise in an attacking sense. And that corner count perhaps reflects that a little bit. Let's see if they can make a dent into City's lead. O'Shea's corner. Up and not away. And Kai Truin is there, but that should be Jamie Young's. I understand Luciani is about to make his move off the bench. We're about to see Ryland Brownlee and Jonas Markowski. Meantime, Jakalic has got away from Zabala. No pressure on Hingert. Bit of a slice by the Raw fullback. Curtis Good, pressured by Miluznic. Jamie Young, not the tidiest of clearances. So City coming back from offside position. Truin. Hingert. Seen out comfortably enough by Curtis Goods. Maybe now Brisbane will make those changes. Are they too little, too late?
Well, it's going to take something monumental, isn't there, to get anything out of this game. Quite a lot to ask from the young substitutes.
And they're not quite ready to come on just yet. Goes for handball against Louis Zabala, not heeded. Lofthouse continues. O'Shea. Zabala. Parsons. Got within shooting range. They'll get a corner, Brisbane. City a little bit irritated they didn't get a free kick here.
Well, I'm not surprised. It was only a full arm. Swung out there by Zabala.
Yeah, not much doubt about that one. Anyway, with a 4-0 lead, City not have a mind to protest too much. Here's the Raw corner, and Aldred at the back post, and they'll get another go, the Raw.
Wake up, eh? Come on, come on!
Jamie Young still wants the clean sheet, of course.
Tolga Arslan was just telling everyone, wake up, don't go to sleep. This is where they need to be ruthless.
9 corners for Brisbane. Parsons to deliver the latest of them. Aldred couldn't get his head on the end of it. Miljuznic. And Lopane and McLaren almost getting in each other's way. City are out safely enough, and Jakalic is away here. Has a little look to see where Leo Natel is, goes himself and fires into the side netting. But I don't think you can blame him for having a go.
That was the right idea. A direct line to goal. Just really struck across. We'll see here if there was offside. Look, it's in his own half. Perfectly timed run. And then look at the acres of space to head towards goal. Just on that there, maybe strike it across the face of the goal. Even if the keeper gets a save, it might knock it into his oncoming teammate.
Well, here are those changes for Brisbane Roar. Jonas Markowski and Ryland Brownlee. 2 famous surnames from the past, looking to make their mark in the present. Alex Parsons and Jez Lofthouse, 2 players withdrawn. As you say, it's a lot to ask of 2 youngsters, even though Jonas Markowski is a little bit older than Ryland Brownlee. He's 24, Brownlee just 16. 16, Macca.
That was a long time ago.
Coletti losing out. Arslan too strong. Supriyan. Curtis Good being given the hurry along by Brownlee.
He's coming, too.
Leo Natel. He's coming, said Leo Natel's teammates. Can't say he wasn't warned. Let's see if he's learned, the Brazilian. Punches it out towards Marin Jakalic. Football again by City. It's going to be a free kick. Jakalic again, stealing in behind and teeing up Jamie McLaren for the hat-trick. 100 A-League goals for Melbourne City for Jamie McLaren. It's his 5th hat-trick in the competition. And Melbourne City are running away with this.
Well, the Brisbane Roar defence, if they weren't asleep before, were now. Harvey Norman replay shows Jakalic just takes off. A simple ball in behind. Jamie McLaren always available in front of goal. It's a nice pass from Jakalic, and the simplest to finish for McLaren for another hat-trick. They are running rampant.
Well, credit to Marin Jakalic. He's got a couple of assists tonight, both of them for Jamie McLaren. And all 3, in fairness, have been put on a plate for him. Some excellent work from his teammates, but he's the man who normally converts them, and he certainly has done tonight. Hat-trick number 5 in the A-League.
Well, you talked earlier about that Golden Boot race. Certain Bruno Fornaroli is going to be missing for a while. He moves himself into equal second, I believe, now on the ladder.
7 for the season. Along with Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. Well, it's been a disruptive week for Brisbane, but defensively they're all over the place. Yakalish again. And I thought Matt Acton had delayed too long before coming out to close the angles, but in the end they couldn't find the finish. They still might. Well, this is Keystone Cop stuff at the back by Brisbane.
Yeah. They're high. They're not putting pressure on the ball. Carrier runs in behind, aren't being tracked. It's almost a video you could put together of how not to defend.
Tolga Arslan has Natel alongside, encouraged to shoot. He will now. Well, it's like a shooting gallery.
Well, there's no pressure on midfield. Defensive line is all over the place. Melbourne City look to be lining up now to take pot shots and add to their tally.
Melbourne City's record win is 7-0 against Victory in the derby back in April 2021. We've still got half an hour to play here, and the way Brisbane are defending, I reckon that's under threat.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
Tolga Arslan with the latest corner. Brisbane defend that this time. Miljosnic to sprint forward. And he picked out Brownlee really well, and Brisbane are on the boards. And it's a first A-League goal for the 16-year-olds. Nicely taken too by Ryland Brownlee. Miljosnic with the initial carry, and those Brisbane fans finally have something to cheer on what has otherwise been a rather miserable night for them.
Well, in the Harvey Norman replay, it's a role reversal, isn't it? It's a quick counter-attack, and that's a lovely first touch from Brownlee. Just brought it down. Miljosnic with the run, has a little look. That first touch on the stretch is wonderful, and it's a calm, composed finish as well.
Well, they conceded 10 goals consecutively without reply, but finally they have something to cheer. And what a great moment for Ryland Brownlee, who, as I'm sure you're aware by now, his father, of course, also played for Brisbane and scored a couple of goals in the inaugural season of the competition. He's not the youngest player to score in the competition. Might well be Brisbane's youngest.
Well, he took it well, didn't he? Put himself in the right area. Wonderful first touch. It's always one to remember, your first goal in professional football. Just a shame it's on the end of a pretty bleak scoreline. If it's any consolation to him, my first goal in professional football was in a 5-1 loss as well. So
was it? Who was that against?
Auckland in the NSL.
Yeah. The Football Kings.
Yep.
They'll be back in Auckland next year. I don't think it's going to make any difference as to where the points end up. But some consolation at least. Berenguer's arrival is imminent, we're told. maybe only fit enough to play 20-25 minutes. By the way, Brisbane's record A-League defeats, 5-0 against Melbourne Victory, January 2019. Also 6-1 against the Jets, same year. So equaling that, or going one worse, is something I'd like to avoid. Arslan with a bicycle kick, which the fans appreciated.
He's enjoying himself, isn't he? Seen the introduction of more and more flicks in midfield. It's flicking it up for the overheads. Why not? And enjoy yourself out there.
Brisbane Roar's youngest ever goal scorer, of course, all competitions. How could I forget? Quinn McNichol in the Australia Cup earlier on this year. In the A-League, I believe it was Tommy Orr.
Yeah, that was ringing a bell for me.
At 17 years, 18 days in 2008 against Wellington. So Ireland Brownlee, we think, has taken that record. Here's that change for Brisbane, and it's a return to Amy Park for former Melbourne City favourite Florent Berenguer as he replaces Joe Coletti. Won the Player of the Year award with City, the Club Player of the Year award, that is, in 21-22. And of course, he reached the grand final, won the title with the club the year before. And the City fans showing their appreciation for their former favourite. This current team have got a free kick which O'Shea takes and Young claims. So Brisbane Macro have got 3 home games to come on the back of this. Sydney on the 6th of January and then Newcastle and Macarthur. And they will need to regroup pretty quickly.
Well, they will, won't they? 66 minutes in. The game was over long ago.
As for City, they've got state derby against Western United back here at Amy Park on the 7th of January, and they entertain the Wanderers before a trip to Gosford to play Central Coast Mariners. Looks like they're going to be in the top 6 this evening at least.
You just felt City exited out of the Asian competitions.
Here's Jakalic again, stealing in behind Zabala. Torgay Arslan is hugely frustrated with himself that he can't hit the target and make it 6.
He's been good, hasn't he, Jakalic?
He's been given plenty of room.
Yeah. He's found it easy pickings down that right-hand side. His movement has been quality, and the service to him as well has been great. And the player of Torgay Arslan's quality knows he should have hit the target there.
Just under a quarter of the game still to go. O'Shea with a little nutmeg through the legs of Leo Natel. This is Aldred. Zabala. Markowski managed to keep his feet and the ball. Berenguer. Gamulka queuing up here, the Raw players, and Jamie Young can only parry it, but makes a really good save with the legs to deny Florent Berenguer on the follow-up. The initial effort was from Jack Hingert. Good recovery by City custodian. Raw still on the attack. Zabala fires it in. Out by Goods. Steadied down by Jakalic. And now this is the danger for Brisbane. Only 2 defenders back, 3 City attackers. One of whom is Leo Natel. A double for the Brazilian. Again, in transition. Brisbane Raw absolutely undressed. And it's 6 of the best for Melbourne City.
Well, it really should have been 5-2 at one end. It's not put away. And as we've seen all night, this man at the heart of it on the Harvey Norman replay, Tolga Arslan, just loses his defender, holds up the play, waits for his support play. Leo Natel with a wonderful finish. First time, just opens up his body. You can see where he wanted to play it. Nothing that Matt Acton can do. And it's been a masterclass tonight in transitional attack from Melbourne City. Brisbane Raw have been on the receiving end of a shellacking, and we've still got 20 to go.
Well, this scoreline equals Brisbane's biggest ever defeat. We're going to see changes off the bench for City as they look to just give some of their fringe players some minutes. Terry Antonis, although I'm not sure either he or Nuno Reyes would appreciate being called fringe players. Both more than capable of being starters. Curtis Good and Alessandro Lapane taking their leave. Curtis Good got the ball rolling, of course, as early as the 10th minute with his header from Saki's corner. Nuno Reyes getting 20 minutes after having to cool his heels on the bench for the last 5 matches. It's just been too easy for City. Those moments of broken play. Rare mistake by Bajic. Arslan. Gets the whistle from Alex King. There we go. This is the As Live ladder, which we'll see if it stays this way. Melbourne City moving into 4th spot on goal difference. Ahead of MacArthur, but still adrift of the Wanderers. Saki. Supriya. Nuno Reyes. Slip on takeoff, presented the ball to Tom Aldred. Markovski. Aldred almost playing as a left winger. But Markovski had straight offside. And he's getting a fair old bait from Tom Aldred. He was so frustrated, he went and joined in with the attack there.
Yeah.
The Raw skipper.
And he's still going, isn't he? And that's what we talked about earlier, the coach killer, when you go too early and you can see across the line. See Tom Aldred, absolutely filthy.
Gomulka. How different might it have been had that early effort from Gomulka gone in instead of rebounded out off the post? We'll never know.
Oh, well, on this performance, it might have been 6-2.
Free kick given for foul on Ryland Brownlee. Ball of 3. Make that 2. Jay O'Shea. No surprise that he had a go, but comfortably tipped over by Jamie Young.
It wasn't a bad effort. It's probably going over as well, but Jamie Young wasn't taking any chances.
O'Shea's corner, whipped in with pace, but seen out by Antonis. O'Shea again, still plenty forward for Brisbane. It's beyond Aldridge. Yaklish first to the loose ball. This time Brisbane do have cover. The shape of Hingert. Given away by Aldridge, who's now popped up on the right wing. Captain plays where he wants. Well, the fans at AAMI Park have certainly got value for money today. Earlier on in the A-League Women's, Melbourne City beat Brisbane 5-3. 8 goals in that one. We've had 7 here, maybe an 8th to come. McLaren, Antonis calling for it. And beyond him is Tolgay Arslan. City in 7th heaven. And Tolgay Arslan joins in with the fun as he hits double figures in all competitions for City this season. The first time he's done that in his entire career.
Well, why not? He's been involved in everything tonight. Wonderful player. Deservedly gets on the scorecard. And again, it's a transition moment on the Harvey Norman replay. This time it's Jamie McLaren, holds it up, waits. Good little pass from Antonis. And he wasn't going to miss from there, was he? Tolgay Arslan has been fantastic tonight. His first touch, fires it into the roof of the net, and it's no more than he's deserved tonight. Wonderful performance.
And you know what, as much as I joke about Tom Aldred being left wing, right wing, he was the last man desperately trying to get in the challenge there after that foray upfield. He is trying to lead by example, but this has just been, defensively at least, a horrible performance by Brisbane.
Yeah, it's a night to forget, isn't it, for Brisbane Roar. A record-breaking night as well.
If it stays this way, it will go down as their record defeats. And as mentioned just before that 7th goal for City, fans at AAMI Park have now seen 16 goals in the 2 games, and penny for the thoughts of Luciano Trani. It's been a tough week in the Sunshine State.
Well, I'm stating the bleeding obvious, but obviously not what he was hoping for his first game in charge.
Lovely touched up by Terry Antonis. Look at the room here for Yaklish, who's had the freedom of AAMI Park tonight. Yaklish! Well, he probably deserves a goal.
Yeah. He's been great as well. This time popping up on the other side. I certainly have the feeling that Melbourne City aren't done.
Luciano Trani is going to go to his bench again. Next break in play. See the introduction of Carlo Armiento, and James Nikolovsky will be on for just his second A-League appearance. Not just yet. City need one more goal to equal their record margin of victory. Melbourne Victory fans perhaps in the rather strange situation of cheering them on here, so they can rob that out of the record books. Wouldn't bet against it. Leo Natel to scoop it in. He partly out by Acton, brought down by Jakalic. And Acton called into action again to deny Tolga Arslan. They're enjoying themselves, the City players.
It's like an exhibition match, isn't it? They are enjoying themselves. Everything they're trying is coming off. Look at that touch from Jakalic. Just a little bit too central on the strike from Arslan.
Some return to action, by the way, for Matt Acton.
Yeah.
His first Raw game in 10 years. And he's caught 7. Still 10 minutes to go. Saki's corner. Slice back across the face. Goes still in play for Hamza Saki here. Nice little look to make sure he's still onside. Zabala standing his ground. That may well be Luis Zabala's last action. City about to make a double change as well. Meantime, Carlo Armiento to replace Nikola Miljanic. James Nikolovsky to replace Luis Zabala. Jamie McLaren takes his leave, hands over the armband to Aziz Bejic, and will get the standing ovation for his treble tonight. Another record-breaking evening for Jamie McLaren. Caputo and Ben Mazzeo, the 2 replacements for McLaren, and Leo Natel, who gets a big hand as well for his 2-goal contribution. Confirmation of all those changes for you, top left of screen. Pinged out wide right by Arslan for Mazzeo. Brisbane throw. Just on Matt Acton's return to the team, or A-League action, it sort of brings to mind, I'm sure he won't thank me for reminding him of it, but remember Michael Theo making his debut for Norwich and copping 7 many, many years ago. Former Brisbane Roar goalkeeper, of course.
So they did all right after that, though, didn't
He did.
Went on to have a pretty good spell.
Won 5 championships, memory serves. Now goalkeeping coach at Western United. But it's not fatal. Then Mazzeo trying to get involved in the action. Bejic. Shoot is the cry from the Melbourne City fans. Hamza Saki. Out for Jakalic. Turned back by Antonis. Forward by Nuno Reis. Tolga Arslan is pulling all of the tricks out of his playbook.
Well, he's run the show tonight, hasn't he? He has been involved in everything that has gone well in Melbourne City.
Strong run by Max Caputo. make his claim. Here he is, Caputo. It's 8. Ben Mazzeo, the two substitutes combined. And Ben Mazzeo, who got his first on starting debut against the Newcastle Jets, gets his first goal in front of the City fans at Amy Park. And Brisbane have been utterly obliterated.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay shows Melbourne City just too good again. Look at this, all inside. Who is it? Arslan, little one touch, look at that. Matteo gets himself across his defender. Black shirt defending tonight has been non-existent. Take nothing away from City, they have been all class. And they have trounced Brisbane Roar. And they're all getting involved.
Great moments for the teenager. Just 18. Former South Melbourne junior, started with Box Hill United. Only been on the pitch a matter of minutes and already joining in the fun for Melbourne City. And Brisbane Roar just won the full-time whistle. This has been horrible. And I'm told that a lot of Ben Mazzeo's friends from his high school, where he's just finished, are in the stands watching him tonight.
Well, I believe he's good friends with our sideline expert, Zappa's son. They went through school together. So I'm sure Zappa's is down there with a big beaming smile on his face.
He'll be getting a selfie later. No laughing matter for Brisbane. And Luch trying his interim spell might be rather short. If this continues, Jay O'Shea's gone down on the Amy Park turf. Armiento crosses the ball in. It's a City throw at the end of all that. Paramount Plus player index. Goodness me, you're a bit stiff if you score a hat-trick and you're only good enough for second spot, Macca. But it could have been any of the City players.
Yeah. They've all been good. We go to our 3-2-1s at the end of the game.
They'll be different, will they?
Well, so, at the stands, I'm sorry, Jamie McLaren, you've got 3 goals, but there's another man who I think deserves it. He's only scored 1, but he's done everything, and here he is. He has just been a delight to watch.
Next, they'll be taking the match ball off him.
It's nothing against Jamie McLaren, of course.
He's been very, very good. And he's just earned his team another free kick. Little shove by Gamulka. He's not enjoyed his return to Amy Park, playing against his former club, of course, or one of them. Seems a long time ago now. He struck the post in the 6th minute. Could there be a 9th goal for City? It's already a record scoreline. Hamza Saki, 2 flat. Supriyan. Bit of a keep ball by City as we prepare to tick over into the 90th minute of the game. Galloway. Mazea. Early delivery, but Aldred was well positioned. Bajic just had a good game tonight as well.
He's certainly in good form, isn't he?
Space again. Caputo. Straight at Acton this time. Oh, how about that for a ball? Armiento onto it. Brownlee waiting in the middle, but straight at goal. Tonis, enticing ball, and Caputo might yet get there. But he committed the foul on Nikolovsky. And we're into the first of 3 additional minutes, as signalled by Adam Bavchar, the 4th official.
Well, mercifully, it's only 3.
But City have served notice tonight that they're not going to give up their premiership without a fight. It's taken them a while to find their feet. It's going to be just 1 defeat in 8 under Aurelio Vidmar. True that some of those have been draws. Maybe a statement performance tonight. Although you also have to take into account just how badly Brisbane have defended. Their 8-goal concession tonight means they've conceded 23 goals so far this season. They only conceded 26 goals in the whole of last season.
So 10 games, almost the same as last season. Less points than the first 10 from last season. I know it's a rebuilding phase and there's a lot of change going on in the style of play, a lot of change going on off the field as well. Just put a very big dent in all the positiveness around the club. I think they can definitely put this one down to a night to forget.
Well, mercifully for Brisbane, there's only a minute to run. Amy Park hoodoo will continue. That solitary win back in 2010 by 2-1. The days of Ange Postecoglou, Costa Barbarouses, Jean Carlos Solórzano were the goal scorers that day. Against the then Melbourne Hearts, that was how long ago it was. And once City got the first goal, they never really looked likely to get back in the game. This is Armiento. Last chance perhaps to make a dent in that scoreline, make it a little bit more respectable. That should just about be that. A night when records tumbled at Amy Park. Jamie McLaren became the first player to hit 150 A-League goals. He later made it 100 for Melbourne City. It's Melbourne City's record win, Brisbane Roar's record defeat. City now 5 unbeaten in the A-League. Tolga Arslan, one of the architects of a brilliant City display, but an abject defensive performance by Brisbane after a difficult week, and the departure, of course, of Ross Aloisi. Luciano Trani's return to the city of his birth was a nightmare. 3 consecutive defeats now for Brisbane. The reigning premiers on the move up the ladder. They're up to fourth. A double for Leo Natel. And one late on for both Tolga Arslan and Ben Mazeo, the youngster. And Raw's Amy Park Hoodoo strikes once more. 18 games without success against Melbourne City now. Back to the drawing board for Brisbane. But a golden night for City. Melbourne City 8, Brisbane Raw 1. Let's get reaction with Zappa.
Thank you so much, Simon. He knows all the details. He knows all the stats. He did know that tonight a hat-trick would bring him his 100th goal for Melbourne City, his 150th in total now. Congratulations, Jamie McLaren. That's an outstanding record. You must be very proud.
Yeah, I'm proud. You know, no one in A-League's reached 150, so I remember scoring my first. You know, I'm just a boy from Sunbury who had a dream to score one goal in the league, and you know, and I stand here with 150. I'm grateful for all the people around me and the support, and this group of players that have been a little bit patient with me, so it's been great.
And it's been a tough couple of weeks for you too, because you've been carrying an injury, and we saw that you weren't moving your best, but you look like you're back to moving freely tonight.
Yeah, it's probably the week where I'm starting to feel 100%, and not the best timing, but is there ever any good timing? You go into games with a little bit of niggles. I'm starting to get over that hump, and yeah, our next game's in 10 days or so, so it'll give me enough recovery to recoup, and same as our boys as well. We'll get back on the pitch and you know, get back fit.
Obviously, coming into tonight's game off the back of a couple of draws, how much confidence will tonight's performance, not just result, give the rest of the squad?
Yeah, I think a result, maybe not of this magnitude, has been coming. You know, scoring 8 goals. We work on these things in training, so for it to come to fruition tonight was great. We scored probably all our chances, and I'm just really proud of the guys. The players around me are superb. They've created for a lot of chances for me tonight, and Tolga and Leo and Marin. So yeah, really proud of them, and the guys at the back. You know, 90 minutes. Brisbane's a great team. A one-off performance for them, but I'm sure they'll bounce back.
And another match ball to add to the collection. There's a few of them. Is that 5 now? 5 at Melbourne City?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's 8 in total in the A-League. Yeah, two hat-tricks this season. Some people said I was finished.
And nothing to worry about there. You got some ice on the...
Nah, nothing to worry about. Vidi was looking after me, so came off with a couple minutes to spare.
Nice way to end the year. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Happy New Year.
All right, congratulations, Jamie. Jay O'Shea joining us now. Really tough circumstances. Jay, thanks for joining us. How do you summarise that?
That was probably the worst performance that we've ever had since I've been at the club. Yeah, defensively as a team, yeah, just we were miles off it today. Have to get back to the training ground and look what we did wrong, and yeah, it's just not good enough.
We know a lot's happened during the week at the club. It came as a shock to everyone. Did it come as a shock to the players, and did it impact your performance tonight?
Yeah, I think it came as a shock. Obviously, we didn't expect that at this time of the season. Yeah, and I don't know, we shouldn't have let it affect us as much as it did. But yeah, we're going to have to lift ourselves. That's 3 on the bounce now, and yeah, just not good enough.
Defensively, it looked all at sea tonight. Is that part of the reason, due to what happened during the week, that the concentration just wasn't there?
I'm not sure. I think it was collective. It wasn't just the defence. It was all the players. It started from us up top. They were getting through us too easy. Yeah, and every time they broke on us, they looked like they were going to score.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, lots to ponder for Brisbane. We'll be back right after this break. Plenty more reaction after this short break.
Craig Goodwin delivers the free kick in. It's a good ball, and it's the opening goal from the towering Harry Suter. Miller is there with Metcalf. He dinks the ball back in. Great header. Mitch Duke. What a story. 11 goals now in green and gold.
Yeah, the Asian Cup coming your way on Paramount Plus, and if you want to see all the action, of course, the Socceroos up in a pretty tough group against India and Uzbekistan and Syria, then sign up for Paramount Plus. You can save 50% if you sign on before January the 2nd, and cheer the green and gold on throughout the Asian Cup in Qatar, starting in early January. What a night it's been for Melbourne City here at AAMI Park. Their biggest ever win in the competition, defeating Brisbane Roar by 8-1. That equals the record win in the competition. Adelaide United beat North Queensland Fury 8-1 many years ago. Let's get back down to Zappa, who is with the player of the match.
Yeah, he was outstanding once again tonight. Tolgay Arslan, our player of the match. Simon, congratulations, Tolgay. I was just saying it's the biggest margin we've seen in the A-League for a long time. You must have enjoyed that one tonight.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. We played as a team. We enjoyed to play together, and yeah, at the end, I think we needed a win like that. And now we can see also on the pitch the connection between each other much better. Now also the work from the coaches. I think Vidi was a little unlucky because we didn't have so much time to train, and now like with every session, yeah, we click better, and I feel sorry for Brisbane, but yeah, we had a magical day today, and of course it's good. End of the year, the last game. Remember, we win like that, and I hope we continue like that.